Hey, good morning, St. Matthew and Facebook friends. In Red Letter Challenge, we are talking about forgiveness this week. And those of you who have been around St. Matthew a while will no doubt have heard my favorite forgiveness story, but I'm going to use it again today. Story of little Johnny, and little Johnny had a slingshot. He'd go out in the woods and practice with his slingshot, but he never came close to hitting anything that he was aiming at. Well, he and his sister went to spend some time with their grandparents on the farm, and Johnny took his slingshot, and he saw his grandmother's duck there, and on impulse, he picked up a rock, put it in his slingshot, aimed it at the duck, and this time, Johnny hit his target, right in the head. The duck fell down dead. Johnny panicked. He picked up the duck and hid it in the woodpile, and looked up just in time to see his sister Sally watching. That night, they were eating supper, and Grandma asked Sally to help with the dishes after supper. And Sally said, "Johnny would love to help with the dishes, wouldn't you, Johnny?" And then she leaned over to Johnny and said, "Remember the duck." A few days later, Johnny's grandpa was going to take Sally and Johnny fishing, and Johnny's grandma said, "I really need Sally to stay here and help me with the supper." And Sally said, "Johnny was just saying how much he'd love to help you with the supper, Grandma. Right, Johnny? Remember the duck." And after a week of doing all of his chores and Sally's too, Johnny got tired of it, and he went and he told his grandmother the truth, that he had killed her duck. And she said, "Johnny, I was watching out the window when you did it. I forgave you as soon as you did it. I forgave you because I loved you, but I wanted to see how long you would let your sister make a slave out of you." Sin is slavery, and forgiveness is freedom. I remember Natalie Bolz-Weber saying in one of her books that the first time she went to confession and absolution in a Catholic church, she thought it was hogwash. She saw it as a bunch of people standing up, telling God how horrible they were, and then the white-robed pastor speaking from the altar, telling them that they were forgiven. And she wondered why she even cared that a God she may or may not believe in would be interested in erasing these check marks from her life of things she didn't even feel bad about. But as she continued to worship and as she grew in faith, she said that that time of confession and absolution became the most honest moment of the week. She called it the time when truth was spoken, perhaps for the only time all week, and that truth would crush her and then put her back together again as something honest. What a great picture of forgiveness. You know, Jesus says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." But that truth first crushes us, and then it sets us free. That's forgiveness. That's death and resurrection every time it happens. So take some time this week to just be honest with God in confession and experience forgiveness, experience freedom, experience death and resurrection. Well, that's it for today. I have another video for you this week in a couple days, so we'll see you then. God's blessing on your week.